Well, good morning, everybody. It's Leah Etling from Running USA, and I have the special pleasure this morning of getting to talk with Chuck George, who has been in the running industry for well over 43 years at this point, and recently announced that he's going to be stepping back a little bit, not completely exiting the space, but not doing so many races all year long. So, Chuck, share a little bit about that decision with us, and welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Uh, the decision, my staff, myself, my wife, we're over 70 years old average. Some of our staff are 80 years old. And we had met about 8 months ago about the future, what to do. And I'd mentioned about at some point retiring. And most of my staff said, well, we like what we do, even though we're getting 70, 80 years old. And I go, that's nice, but you're not the race director. There's a difference. Uh, Early mornings, all day, hot weather, cold weather. It grows on you after a while. And after 1,200 races, uh, it's tough. So we'll continue with the private convention group races in the future for the foreseeable future. Those 8 o'clock in the morning, we're done. They're not open to the public, but the mega races open to the public and stuff like that we do. Time to move on. Get the younger crowd. Got some younger people that I've been mentoring that are taking my races over, and I'll be assisting them.
Well, 43 years is a long time to do anything. So share with us some of the things that kept you motivated and inspired and directing for all these years.
Sure. Uh, it's fortunate that I've been involved with so many unique events. Having the opportunity as the race director for two of the oldest races in the country, I think they're the fourth and fifth oldest, both over 100 years. One of them, I was the race director for the 100th year. The other one, race director for the 101st year. And that's unique. They're both in New Orleans. And then, of course, directing the Mardi Gras Marathon for quite a number of years in New Orleans, and an event that takes a lot of effort, great staff and stuff like that, enjoyable, uh, and looking forward to different things.
So when you look back, and you alluded to that just now, what are some of the moments or stories or things that stand out the most? What will you think back on when you
Sure.
reflect in the future?
I think, and I mentioned about a marathon, but it could be any distance, primarily a half marathon, a marathon. Uh, and you're at the finish line and you've got a couple thousand people there, and you see occasionally the emotion, the raw emotion of a finisher. They finish that marathon, and it may be the only time they'll ever do one. It may be something, and you can tell that, and the feeling you get for knowing that you played a central role in making that opportunity happen for them. That's really worth it there. Uh, the fundraising races like that, where you see people that are involved in fundraising that has to do with particular condition that maybe they have, and it could be only a 5K race, but their emotion is great, and the feeling you get for providing that opportunity.
Well, you really have been one of the forces in kind of developing the running community in New Orleans over the years. How have you seen that community change, grow, and what role would you say that the races that you produce played in shaping it?
I think for me, most likely, I would say without a doubt, more than half, if not well more than half of the local current races right now, I either directed or created, and some of them for many decades they're still going. So that's something I'm very proud of, and I'm passing those races on to other people to direct. A particular local running production organization has taken over all of my events, but to guide them, the local running club, the local producers and stuff like that, to some extent, is something I'm very proud of, and they know that I'm open book. I'm willing to assist at any time in the future because I love our local runners and walkers.
You mentioned that you have been mentoring some up and coming race directors. What advice do you have to younger race directors in general? What does the next generation need to know?
Sure. think they need to know to pave their own way. They need to decide maybe two things. Is it a race in which they want to create, which is quite a lot of the events I do or did. I created the event and then I went and found sponsors and location. Or, and also maybe split it up a bit. Do they want to entertain having an organization that wants to produce a race that has the sponsors come to them? Uh, the key thing either way is that you make sure that you produce the race with your style, with your input, technology, whatever, and you make sure that I always say I'm in charge, and that's how it goes. But I certainly listen to what they want and deliver. But I prefer to be totally in charge of the race, and that's what I try to tell it.
There've obviously been a ton of positives with so many events, but what were some of the challenges? What were factors that you had to overcome as you grew in your career?
Yeah, New Orleans is a different market. We've been through some big hurricanes that put us on a big pause. Everybody's been involved with the pandemic. That put us on a big pause. Uh, Locally, we have permitting issues in New Orleans right now. Unfortunately, the city of New Orleans will not allow a race over 10K distance. So thus we lost rock and roll. The jazz half marathon that I produced and owned could not be held. And I'm sure there's other long distance races that are affected like that. So I had to pull a decent amount of my races out of New Orleans. That's tough because New Orleans is a big draw. It's something I'm currently working on, even though I probably won't be directing the race. I'm working on trying to get rock and roll back here with the city to understand how big that is. Uh, in my opinion, a $40 million impact loss that needs to be understood. Uh, but locations and stuff like that. There's nothing like downtown New Orleans with the French Quarter, St. Charles Avenue, Garden District. You can't replicate that in the suburbs.
Yeah, that is a huge challenge, and I was not aware of that that was the case. Is that just due to not wanting to close down roads, or what's the concern on their side?
I think the concern is the amount of police available for the course logistics, other events going on, big tourist city, recent Super Bowl, Mardi Gras. This weekend and the following weekend is the Jazz Festival, one of the largest music festivals in the world. There's something every weekend. We've got to put our foot in the door and prove the cause of why a half marathon event can be held and can be productive. The numbers are there. We just have to prove that.
Absolutely. So I know you'll be still directing a few races at the convention level, but what are you planning to do with all this newfound free time?
I wish I knew the answer to that. I want to travel, but we travel because my schedule's been winding down over the last couple of years. I'll be helping the organization that is taking over my races. I'll be helping them uh, and enjoying things. We got a grandson, so I think that's going to occupy a lot of time right there.
Absolutely. Well, Chuck, thank you so much. Thank you for your long-term membership in Running USA. We've always enjoyed having you involved with the organization and wish you all the best in the future.
Thank you very much.